Random Lists is all about lists Waypoint Overland has created on an array of topics, such as top 5 national parks, top 10 trails in the United States, top 10 fill in the blank. I think you get it. Some lists will be pure fun, and others very informational. But they all will have a connection to overlanding in some way. We're very interested in hearing your suggestions for upcoming lists in the comments. Now, here's our random list.
My random list this week is top 5 books I recommend on first aid for overlanders. I own all of these books in paperback as well as on Kindle app. And I recommend having a hard copy and digital copy to everyone. You then have the ability to access them on your phone, your tablet, and computer. At number 1, I have Where There Is No Doctor, a Village Healthcare Handbook by David Werner. It's one of the most widely used public health manuals in the world according to the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization and UNICEF buy the book for their field offices. It successfully brings together modern concepts of public health and personal health care into a usable and understandable format. It's been translated into over 90 languages and considered the most accessibly and widely used community healthcare manual in the world. The book includes sections detailing effective examination techniques, home cures, correct usage of medicines, and their precautions, nutrition, caring for children, ailments of older individuals, and first aid. The information provided in this book is simple, straightforward, and easy to read. I would highly recommend that every person own a copy. At number 2, I have the Survival Medicine Handbook, the essential guide for when medical help is not on the way, by Joseph Alton, MD. If you had to deal with an injury or illness in a disaster, would you know what to do? The Survival Medicine Handbook is a detailed guide for those who want to be medically prepared for any disaster where help is not on the way. This book is geared to enable the non-medical professional to deal with all the likely issues they'll encounter in a catastrophic short or long-term scenario. The book makes the assumption that a disaster, natural or man-made, has removed all access to hospitals or doctors for the foreseeable future, and you are the only medical resource. The book will give you the tools in plain English to competently handle injuries and illness for any situation that leaves you as the last hope for your medical well-being. At number 3, I have the American College of Emergency Physicians First Aid Manual. This first aid manual looks at more than 100 different conditions from splinters and sprained ankles, strokes, unconsciousness, and shows exactly what to do with step-by-step photographic sequences. Every condition is clearly explained, outlining causes, symptoms, and signs, and action plans. The instructions are easy to follow, whether you need information on emergency first aid for babies and children, or tips on resuscitation. At number 4, I have the SAS Survival Handbook, The Ultimate Guide to Surviving Anywhere by John Lofty Wiseman. The Ultimate Guide to Surviving Anywhere reflects the latest in survival knowledge and technology and covers topics such as urban survival and terrorism. The book is the definitive resource for all campers, hikers, and outdoor adventurers, from basic campcraft and navigation to fear management and strategies for coping with any type of disaster. At number 5, I have the Wilderness First Responder, How to Recognize, Treat, and Prevent Emergencies in the Backcountry by Buck Tilton. This book is a comprehensive text for recognition, treatment, and prevention of backcountry emergencies. It's essential reading for wilderness educators, trip leaders, guides, search and rescue groups, and anyone who works or plays far from definitive medical care. This invaluable resource includes expert step-by-step instructions and clear illustrations. It's designed to help anyone provide immediate care in the wilderness, whether they're more than an hour away from an ambulance or a hospital. It shows how to conduct a patient assessment, improvise with the things you have handy, and decide whether or not to evacuate a patient. Well, that's my list. Do you agree or do you disagree? Do you have your own list? Share in the comments. But let's keep it rolling with the viewer question about communications. A viewer of the podcast asked me the following: which model Midland radio do you have installed in your Jeep? And could you please tell me why? First, thanks for the question. And before I get into what exact model I use, let's get into what I require. I try to make as many things as possible in my rig easy to remove. As much as I love being remote on my travels, I also enjoy the things the city has to offer as well. When I do that, I like to unload pretty much everything of value into a hotel or a KOA. So my first requirement was a radio that was easily removed. Second, using a Jeep as my overlanding rig requires being as economical with space as possible, which means I needed a radio that was small and I could install in unique places, but I wasn't willing to give up features to do so. And third, I'm a glasses wearer, and I'm not getting any younger. So for me, it was important that I can easily see the screen and the buttons. So that made it mandatory that all the controls and the screen be on the mic itself. So the choice was pretty easy for me. I first purchased my Midland GMRS radio MXT 275 in February of 2022. Now, the reason I'm telling you that is because I'm proud to say Midland has been a sponsor of this podcast since day one, and they're responsible for the product we will be giving away this episode. However, I've purchased every single product I use by them so far. So if space is a concern or you have limited mounting options, this is a great option. And for you vision impaired drivers like me, you'll love having everything right there on the microphone. An extra of the microphone is the speaker being in the mic. That means if you're in a loud environment, you can always put the mic near your ear and hear all the communications.